So I actually got up and I was ready to go earlier, but my feet are just killing me and I'm run down. If I didn't have a commitment with the trail angel up ahead, I would actually zero today. I've got all the signs, but I'm gonna go resupply, see if I can't get 10, 15 miles knocked out, and then maybe go to the trail angel a little early. I almost just tried to stealth camp out here last night. The traffic noise ended up being a bit much though. So I have been avoiding any Dollar General stops, but I'm over it. We've been planning supermarket stops, but honestly, I'm only wanting to carry a couple of days of food. There was a Dollar General by the hotel, and it had almost all the things I needed. I mean, they are kind of sad in there. Yesterday was kind of a sudden shift towards being run down. My right foot in particular got really problematic yesterday, and it is hurting to walk on this morning. Traffic has just been god awful through here. Honestly, I'll take the big 4-lane roads with more of a shoulder over something like this. Harder for people to get over. Found the first subway in a long time. So I stopped, got something to eat, thought about my options here. I just keep lowering my standards here. At first it was, okay, I want to get a full day before they pick me up. Then it was, okay, I want to see if I can get 10, 15 miles. And now I just want off of my right foot before I do any more damage. At least I tried, I guess. Didn't even want to leave the hotel this morning. Kept hoping that maybe I'd get a mile or two on and then things would straighten out. Sharon and Todd are lovely folks that had reached out to me over Instagram when they saw I was on the trail. They are generally warm shower hosts, but they have hosted a handful of ADD hikers over the last couple of years. They were nice enough to drive out, come and get me, bring me back to their place, and let me get cleaned up, which I badly needed. In addition to just having a lovely home and property, they had what is quite possibly the coolest outhouse and outdoor shower setup I have seen. I am usually expecting wasps and spiders when I open the door, not running water and a flush toilet. They basically fed me, let me pass out in their travel van, and then fed me again when I woke up, before letting me play out on their pond. This was a real treat because I basically love boats and will take any chance to be out on the water. I have mostly been resting, but I couldn't resist when I saw they had a pedal boat. I was exhausted when I got here. I basically blinked and lost 5 or 6 hours, but they have been feeding me and spoiling me, and I have a very nice place to sleep tonight. I am still really bummed that I had to basically come off trail today, but hey, I tried. I got some things taken care of. Hopefully my feet will heal up, and this has been one of those memorable stops that will stick with me going forward. So I am sleeping in that van over there, and we just had dinner on their lovely black back deck. This is the sportive living situation I just dream about. Even cooler and very much matching with my own taste, once it got dark, they had colored lights set up in the forest, which would change over time. Once again, you never know how the day is going to go. These folks came and got me, and I have had a lovely time here. They have a spectacular house, and the biggest problem is I have now stayed up till midnight because I was having fun sitting out by the fire with them and chatting. So tomorrow might be a little rough, but oh well. They're letting me stay in their travel van tonight, and tomorrow I'll be heading back to the trail after breakfast. And they have fed me so much yummy food. Home sweet home. Once again, bit of a late start due to my kryptonite. Somebody feeding me and then talking to me. So this area isn't great as camping. My plan A here is probably to come back here tonight, as much as I'm reluctant to do that. It's just been too hard to find something with the lack of vegetation. It is just lovely here. And I am back, thanks to Todd nicely giving me a ride back out here to Hanover by the ye old Presbyterian compost center. Oh, I had such a nice time last night and this morning. Unfortunately, I did not get much sleep because when I was playing around on the pond last night, they started a fire, and I went over to just say hi, figuring I was exhausted. I was going to go sleep because I've been really tired the last couple of days. And then I sat there and started talking, and I think I was talking for, well, until a little after midnight, where I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of need to go to sleep. I am an oddball in that I very much do not like sleeping in close quarters around others, but I do really enjoy talking. And sometimes when I'm out here, it can be pretty isolating in a good and a bad way. I enjoy the wilderness aspect of it. But sometimes when, like, let's say you're just going through towns and even the nuns are being mean to you, it can feel a little isolating. So being around friendly people and just getting to talk, and I love telling stories when people are interested, about various adventures and horror stories and this, that, and the other. So as much as I am resistant to this, I am probably going to be staying with them again tonight. Looking at the section I'm going to, there is not a good option as far as camping that I can see. And after the last couple of nights being so rough, going into Hanover, I was going to stealth camp and the traffic noise was just so bad. I think I might take them up on that just to get through this section. At the end of the day, I have my strong preferences, but I am a realist. They did offer to let me slack pack or leave stuff there, and I did refuse to do that. If I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna carry my stuff, but I do gotta be at least a little flexible on the sleeping arrangements. They are warm shower hosts, and usually bike packers or RVs, and they have a camper van that they let me sleep in. And I always am kind of fascinated because we lived in a camper conversion van for 3 seasons, but it was a Craigslist special with no room and no features. So it's always kind of cool to get to poke around and stay in something and see how different it is. And I usually try and appreciate every trail for, what it is, trying to say, oh, I hate this because it's got roads and it's not like the PCT. That's not gonna lead to a good time. And one of the cool things about this has been the trail angels and the unique stays, and Sharon and Todd's really qualifies there. The way they had the forest all lit up at night, and their flush out house and their outdoor shower, and the pond I got to paddle around in last night. It was just very memorable. So in general, I try just not to get too fixed on, oh, I wish this was like XYZ, and just go with it and accept whatever comes and enjoy it for what it is. I think that puts me in a better headspace for some of the rough sections where things are a little less than ideal, where I'm doing long road walks or bad weather. Louisiana last year was miserable in a lot of ways, but we enjoyed it for what it was. We had some really cool experiences. I wouldn't have traded portaging down the Decatur Street, New Orleans, just for a little more comfort. They had actually reached out to me over Instagram, letting me know they were in the area and they were happy to host, because one of the guys that's doing a alternate route that sometimes is on the ADT had stayed with them and let them know I was coming behind at some point. Sometimes I get offers from people, oh, when you get to such and such, I would love to help you out, but it's hard to keep track of all the details like that when you're looking over thousands of miles. And we try and make notes in our kind of running note file, but I sometimes forget, and then I get by and I'm like, oh wait, somebody had said they were there and they really wanted to come say hi. So for what it's worth, if you are wanting to come meet us, it is always better to ping us when we get close to the area, even if you've talked to us before, and just remind us that you're still around and still want to say hi, because we try, but sometimes things get lost in the shuffle. So my right foot is still giving me trouble. It's not for the moment as bad as it was yesterday. I should have, if I hadn't known that they were going to be around, I would never have left that hotel. I would have just been laid up the entire day, and maybe I would have healed up a little better, but is what it is. I also guess I could have gone to them, but I made the call to not stealth camp and go to the hotel late at night, and I didn't want to bother somebody at 9 o'clock at night. For my own sanity, I'm happy to take people up on help. I just don't want them to go stupidly out of their way on my account. Blame my software engineering days, where we used to joke when we're doing projects about, bad planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. one of my pet peeves, and the thing that has made me more ticked off at other hikers than anything else has been the whole like main character syndrome, through hiker entitlement syndrome, where people walk in and they just expect that everything should basically exist for them and what they are doing, versus properly appreciating that these are people who are, opening up their home or going out of their way and offering help. And it's amazing that they do that, and they should be thanked. A few times a year, somebody on one of the AT message boards starts ranting because somebody accepted like gas money for a ride in or out of town, and then they shouldn't be called a trail angel because trail angels never accept payment. And that's just crummy, especially when it's some retiree on a fixed income who's just using the money to, keep gas in his car so he can volunteer his time and do this sort of thing. But hey, this is why I don't pay attention to a ton of other hikers, because that way lies madness. I can just control how I act. So today it's basically swinging me down by the Ohio to get me a little further south, and then I cut straight over towards another one of those parks where there is a bit of a trail section. Apparently pretty steep, yada yada. I'll probably get fairly close to, I think it's Clark State Park tonight. Plan to be through there tomorrow. Ideally, I would be in the park so I could camp. It divides up how it divides up. And I'm actively trying not to do what I was doing early on, where I was giving up, another 5 miles just because I had secure camping. Which is all well and good when you find something, but when the Catholic nuns in China are telling you to get lost and it's getting dark and you have nowhere to go, you start doubting your life choices. I am also still wishing I was doing a little more mileage, but I am feeling better about myself versus some others. I did a little more research, and yeah, there are people who have been doing like solid 30s through here. But a lot of them were slack packing for long sections. And if you take my 20 pounds off my back, I am going to be moving a lot faster. And yeah, I can do more miles. I don't want to do that, but at least I don't feel quite like I am not doing what I should be doing out here. And honestly, it's just trying to, when you're hearing from people, oh yeah, such and such was doing like 30s through there, and they were successful in finishing, you're wondering, okay, well, am I just not going to be able to finish? When I started the Pacific Crest Trail, I was a late start, May 4th, and it was COVID year, so there wasn't a ton of people, but I was running into very few people, and almost everybody I was running into was doing 30-mile days straight out of the gate, and here I am doing like 15 to 20 and feeling like I'm doing pretty good. But you start wondering, like, wait, am I not going to make this? Is everybody else like faster, and do they know something I don't about the season? As near as I can tell, I would like to be, another couple hundred miles ahead eternally, but I am still within a window where it is possible I can finish, particularly if, the flats of Kansas speed me up a little bit, which is hard to say. I sped up here, but my feet fell apart all of a sudden out of nowhere. And obviously, once I get out west, going over the Continental Divide sections, I know some of that overlap trail, and there is more gain, and it will be a little slower going. All I can do is try and stay consistent, not spend every moment stressing about, oh, well, I still have 3,800 miles to go, and then trying to do math every day, feeling like I'm further and further behind. All I got to do realistically is, if I make it to Nevada, that gives me a good window for next year after the Yukon, and if I have to do that. I would love to make it to San Francisco. I am trying my damnedest to do that in 1 year, but all I can do is what I can do. As I like to say, I am merely an okayish through hiker. I'm not superhuman like some folks I could point to. I was actually feeling like quite trail worn and tough up until this kind of setback yesterday. Anyway, for today, I am hiking like I am not going to be seeing Sharon and Todd at the end of the day. I've got all my stuff. I've got 3 days of food, usual water, stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure that that's where I'm going to end up tonight. Take advantage of stuff like that while I can. Still trying to limit things to just, 2 days worth of staying at any given trail angel. That whole saying about guests and fish smelling in 3 days. I've been in communication with Zach, who's a hiker who's currently back in Ohio. And I've been telling him, yeah, enjoy this right now, because this is probably about as easy or good as it's going to get. The weather isn't too bad. Yeah, there's rain, etc. But once the heat starts and then, getting into the high altitude storms and whatnot out in Colorado, no boom today, boom tomorrow. This is dropping me down near the Ohio River for a section. Pretty sure that's why this little flying exists. I am basically treating things like it is more rehab mode for the next day or two, at least until the worst of this stuff on the ball of my foot and that toe heals up. And then hopefully I can get back to pushing it a little more. Because one of the things that I have had beaten into my skull repeatedly over the last 4 or 5 years is trying to make your body fit to a schedule out here just leads to bigger setbacks and bigger delays. I did text with Jen a little last night. She is doing the last of the Wellness Travel Course Experience trips. She is co-leading before coming out to meet me in about a week. So she was on her way into Kennedy Meadows in the Southern Sierra, which I'm jealous. The students this year were a lot of fun. I really am sad I don't get to be there taking them out on all these adventures in the Sierra during the summer. And the area she's going is one that I just really, really like. So many people go to the same areas like Whitney, Bishop, Kearsarge, yada yada in the Sierra, and there's all these crowds and limited camping and everything like that. And the Southern Sierra is just this awesome, pristine wilderness. You're low enough where you've got the mountain peaks all around you, but there's water access. You can have campfires. So she should have fun, and I will hopefully get video clips from her. It usually takes a lot of haranguing to even get the minimal couple of clips she sends me. I'm always like, oh, but you could have just taken a couple more and people would be so happy. So this is actually supposed to be a rain day. Todd and Sharon were saying, you can just stay here and take the day off. It's supposed to be sunny the day after. I was kind of explaining how, as long as the rain's not too bad, it's sometimes nicer and more efficient to be walking in that versus in the heat. Because I am still dreading the oncoming heat wave whenever that gets here. We shall see. Similar to, everybody's a tough guy till they get punched in the face. I'm really tough about, oh yeah, I'm good hiking in rain, till I get into like a horizontal downpour. I stopped to record something back there. Guy in a truck pulled up just to see if I was okay, which that always gives me kind of a warm fuzzy. Never quite sure when they pull over, is it going to be, hey, you okay, everything good? Or you're not planning to stay around here, are you? Because I have had both. Regardless of the forecast, the weather is getting that kind of feel where you're like, yeah, I think I'm probably getting hit. I barely caught sight of a barge, but didn't have good views through the trees. Keep hoping for better views like a couple of days ago. There we go. Outside, that place had sandwiches. And outside, annoying levels of rain are back. That was another one of those, what the heck are you doing, boy, sort of reactions. Nice guy. I always have to explain. I appreciate the offer of a ride, but you know, I'm kind of like hiking across the country. Getting a ride would kind of negate that. Okay, I'm not going to exceed, but I've done my 22 miles, so I let Todd know I'm good to be picked up at any point here.
Leroy Williams. We'll look at the.
I love the outdoor shower setup. I'm sitting here with it raining, hearing the rain hit the roof, and yeah, it's just nice. You can see all the lights in the forest back there. I really love their setup back here with the lights and everything. Gives so much depth to the forest instead of it just being dark at night. So I made 22 miles today, got close to their house. This will probably be my last night here, I think. Never know what's gonna happen, but that's the plan. And then in the morning, I'll have another 10 miles of road, and then I'm off on a trail. My feet are reasonably healed up. They seem to hold up today anyway, and as long as they can hold up to 22 some miles, it's all good. So I am exhausted. It is after 10. I'm not usually up this late. Yesterday I stayed up until midnight, but that was because I had basically passed out as soon as I got here and had a nap in the middle of the day. And home sweet band for the night. It is really cool in here, and I am so exhausted there's no way I can stay up and enjoy it for any length of time. Oh well.